Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I am your expert life strategist, Karina Calhoun, and your host for the Go Be Great show here. I am super duper excited. We have another amazing episode for you all. Listen, I am literally like overjoyed with the amazing human beings that have been coming on the show recently to help us truly lean into our journeys. However, we find ourselves on our journey, it seems that people are coming to help link arms with us. And today is no different. We have April Hiatt. April, how are you doing today?
I am awesome today. I got up, I went on my walk, I listened to podcasts. I'm doing great. That's how I start my day every day. So it's
I
awesome.
love it. I love it. And I love your smile. Your smile just, it kind of like exudes warmth and it's inviting. It's
Thank
it's
you.
very inviting. I love it. So April, tell us, where in the world are you?
I am in Utah, where we is the
Oh,
home of like 5 national parks and we go hiking all the time. It's beautiful. So I love it.
I love it. I love it. I love the park. I am so I'm from the country. So outside is amazing, but it just seems recently, I guess, and I might be dating myself. I don't really care.
I'm
But it
probably the same. It's all good.
yeah, it's all good. But it just seems like outside is different than it was back in the day. But nonetheless, I always feel extremely like blessed and thankful and grateful when I go outside to just simply feel the sun on my skin. That is such an amazing feeling. So I really want to talk about what you've been doing recently. So, my question to you, April, is how have you been loving on the world around you?
So one of the things that I've been focusing on over probably the last year is making more real connections with people and just like getting to know them for who they are. I mean, I think as we grow businesses, we go to networking things or whatever. And it's not just about networking for business. It's really just getting to know somebody for who they are and just enjoying being with or talking to that person in the moment right now, just connecting. So that's what I've been doing a lot of. And oh my gosh, it's just changed. It's awesome.
April, you are a girl after my own heart. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. So I feel like I have a piece of hair like hanging. I'm just gonna be honest, hey, listen, we're family, but there seems to be a piece of hair hanging. But anyway, nonetheless, you are a girl after my own heart. And the reason why I say that is because connection is so vital in whatever we do.
Yep.
And as you said, that true connection, when someone approaches me and says, hey, I just want to know about your business or I want to tell you about my business, it is so inauthentic.
Hmm.
I'm a human being first.
Right.
You're a human being first.
Right.
So this is going to be, listen, I've told you all, grab your notebook, grab your journal, grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab whatever you need, because I have a feeling April is going to drop some gems. She's going to shift some mindsets. She's going to have you thinking about some things, possibly some ways of doing things differently, so that you can really see the connections that you really need to see being made in your life, period. So, April, tell us first of all, tell us what started this.
The making connections or just
Yes.
in general. So um I I was a stay-at-home mom I'm still, okay. I say a stay-at-home mom. All my kids are gone now. I'm an empty nester mom at the moment. So I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time. And whether you're in the workforce or you're at home, sometimes it's kind of hard because you just get in your own little world. And when my kids they were older, they were in high school and stuff, I started my own business. But what I do is online. I build websites. So I'm on a computer, I'm online all day long. And what I realized is that I was missing talking to people. And what I loved about my job the most, or, what I do the most, was when I work with somebody, I spend a lot of time up front talking to them and finding out who they really are. And then we put that on the website. But what I found was that that's what I loved the most about my job. Like, I like building websites, but I loved connecting to people first and talking to them and getting to know them and finding out who they were, and then finding a way to share that with the world. And so that's kind of what got me going, is I thought that's what's lighting me up the most, is connecting to people, whether I do business with them or not. It's just getting to know them for who they are. And in one of your episodes, Karena, I listened to this morning, actually, you talked about getting to know your passion and what you're passionate about. And I thought, oh, that's my favorite part of my job, is connecting to people and then finding out what they're passionate about, digging that out, and then hearing them talk about it and tell their stories, and just listening. And anyway, so that's just kind of moved me along. And over the past year, I thought that's what I'm going to focus on the most. And it's been amazing. So
I love that. I absolutely love it, because what you're doing is looking at an individual as an individual, and not as, hey, you're a source to pay my bills or that type of thing. And I absolutely love that. And one of the things that over the past year or more that I've really focused on with the networking piece, listen, I'm going to be very transparent here. I used to hate networking. And the main reason for that is that I'm an introvert. And a lot of people are shocked to hear that. With as much as I do in the front, I am absolutely an introvert. And so one of the things that I tell people is, networking is not about a transaction. Networking is about, how can we link arms, get to know one another, and then do life and business
mhm.
together.
Right. Yeah, because the hard part about that I found about networking, and I'm actually an introvert too, um, is I always felt like I was being sold to. Like, I don't want to get to know you just because you're trying to sell me something. I really want to get to know you for who you are and find out about you and make a connection. And then when we connect, now I want to know more about you. And in the genuine connection, that's when I'm going to be like, oh, she does this amazing thing. I totally want to be with her. I know her. We connected. We have, we talked about kids, like we did all the things. Yeah, I totally want to work with her, but I don't want to be sold to. That's what I hate about the networking part. And once I got past that and realized, okay, if I can make true connections with people, then everything else will fall into place.
Absolutely, absolutely. So give us a tip that you have used to help you, especially as an introvert. People think that all introverts are shy and they don't want to speak and they are timid and awkward. And I tell folks that's not the case.
Mm-mm.
All introverts are not shy. You actually have extroverts who can be shy. Introverts, we just simply process people differently.
Right.
We're doing this show today, which means once this show is over, I'm going to go and replenish so that I can move on to the next thing for the day. It
Right.
just means that when we are with people, when we are in the presence of people, our energy, our strength it diminishes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I express that to people that, even as an introvert, you can actually network in such a way that is so beneficial to you. So give us a tip that has really propelled you over this idea of networking as being so horrible.
So this is going to sound kind of funny, but I'm old enough now that I finally just went, and I finally learned to say to myself, April, just get over yourself. Like I'm an introvert, but I was also self-conscious because of that. And so, but once I realized, my skill, because I'm an introvert, one of the skills I have is I watch people and I notice things about them. And then I also listen. and I can go in a room and look around and see who's standing in the corner and go talk to that person. So once I got over myself basically and thinking, I'm too shy, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to talk to people, and just went, okay, April, look outside of yourself a little bit and tune into the skills that you have in noticing people, seeing what needs to be done, seeing who might need someone to talk to, and just listening and talking to that person. Then it all changed. I thought, wow, look at these cool connections I'm able to make. And look at these real people that I'm meeting who just needed someone to talk to them. And then they opened up just fine and they were doing great. But sometimes we all need that somebody to just say, hey, how are you? Hey, Karena, I see you. I love your hair today. That's so great. And it just opens up a conversation, and that's all they needed. But I think we're all in that boat. So if one of us will just step forward and look around, then it helps everybody.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right. One thing about introverts that people are now really beginning to understand is that we're not timid and awkward. We're actually very deep listeners. We're very deep thinkers. And so I remember back when Clubhouse was just really getting started, I was on there, and I had stepped into a room with, it was a ton of people in there, and they invited a bunch of us on stage, and they kept passing the mic to me. And I said, and I would pass, and they would pass it back to me later, and I would pass again. And then finally towards the end, I went ahead and picked the mic up and said what I had to say. And one thing just really stood out. The host of that room said, you have to be an introvert. And I knew when you kept passing by the mic, that once you did get the mic, we all needed to listen. And oh my God, did you have something to say? And I don't say that to be boastful or anything, but I say that
Right.
to encourage those that are introverts, that you absolutely have something deep and thought provoking to say. you
Oh,
know
for sure.
and
Yes, the
that is,
people.
yes, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, go ahead, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say it's those that are listening the most and then speak, that you're like, "Oh my gosh, they totally like heard me. They heard what was going on. They processed it, and then they were able to summarize it and teach us all something that none of the rest of us heard that they heard." So, yeah, totally.
Exactly. So I just want to encourage those of you that are listening to really begin to step outside of that comfort zone and make those connections. Be okay with who you are. As April has said, get over yourself, because you're absolutely needed. And because you're needed, we need to hear from you. So, April, how does this really fit into the services? I heard you say that you build websites for folks. So, how does this really fit into your services?
So I design websites and I do branding for people, and specifically personal brands like coaches, consultants, authors, just anybody that's a personal brand. But the most important part of any of your branding and your website is, and anything that you do, is being you first. The people that don't do well are those that are trying to be somebody else, or that have heard all the advice. I mean, there's tons of it out there for online businesses, and they try to do everything and they try to fit all this stuff in, even if it doesn't feel right to them. And then they can't figure out why it's not working. So the best thing that people can do is to just be you, decide, this is who I am. These are the services that I'm going to offer. These are the people that I connect with, that I want to work with. And it's, what? It's okay if you don't connect with everybody. It's
Yeah,
okay if what you do in your business and I'm just going to use a coach, but if the coaching you provide is not for everybody, it's not meant to be. There are certain people you're going to connect with. So figure out who that is and what your values are and what you provide that's unique to you, And then put that on your website, put that in your branding, have that carry over everywhere. Because as people see you and kind of find out who you are, and then they're like, oh, I connect with her. So, like, for example, Karena, before I even, applied to be on this podcast, I totally stalked you. Like, I went online, I looked at all of your, I listened to several podcasts, I looked at your YouTube channel, and I watched a lot of your stuff. I went on your website, I read through all this stuff, and I was like, okay, yes, I like this person. I connect to this person. We have the same values. We are, we're trying to help the same types of people. Like, yes, this is something I want to do. But there are times when I've looked at stuff and I've thought, yeah, that person, it's just not me. And you know what? That's okay. So the more you can be you as you're out there, whether it's in social media, in your branding, on your website, wherever it is, the more you can be you and show people who you are, and specifically because of who you are, what you can offer them, that's when your business takes off. That's when you can succeed. And that's the trick. Like, that's what I love to do, is get inside your head, help you kind of figure out who you are exactly and what you offer, and then get that out there to the world. And that's when the magic happens. So you can see I get excited about that already.
April, the amazing thing about all of this that you're saying is, and this is where I like to connect the dots with entrepreneurs, with influencers, and for those that are listening who are coming up and through and different things like that. One of the things that April does is you build websites, correct? And brands.
Correct.
And
Yes.
help people with their brands.
Yes.
But listen to what April also said she does. She helps you find you. So I want, for those that are listening, I want you to understand that your business actually encompasses so much more than you probably think. And when you can really tap into, this is the sweet spot, this is the passion. Because in order for April to really help you find you, she had to find her first.
Oh, yes,
And she
absolutely.
had to say, April, get over yourself.
Yep.
We have to do that. And so
Right.
I absolutely love the fact that you brought that to the forefront. Because when we, like you said, when we're trying to be and do something else outside of who we are and what we're supposed to be doing, it changes things.
Absolutely.
It runs us amok. I mean, just really being honest here.
Right. Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm going to be transparent. I remember I had a coach a couple of years ago, amazing coach. She was just absolutely wonderful. And there were a few things that did not align with me and my values, but I overlooked them. And I said, but this is an amazing human being. I absolutely love what she's doing in this space. I'm going to hire her. I actually had to sit down recently and write her an email and express to her why I did not continue on with the coaching. And this is from a few years ago, because I felt it in my heart. I wanted to be able to express this, because this was not some guru, that has thousands of numbers and you're just a number. This was actually a person that, we met several times a week. And so I say all of this to say that I tried to be and do something that did not fit me. The values that I have were not valuable enough to me at that moment, to the point where I overlooked them and sidestepped them to go and align with someone else.
Yeah. 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 One of the things that I think is really important as business owners and as women and just as people in general is we have to listen to ourselves and trust ourselves. There is so much noise out there in the world, and especially in the online business space. There's a lot of people saying a lot of different things, and then it's really easy to jump on the bandwagon of everybody's doing this and that's working, and you got 20 people telling you to do all these things. But if it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. Listen to that voice. You have to listen to that voice, even if it feels like it's going against what every single person is telling you to do. Do it anyway. Do what feels good to you. You have to get to a point, and let me finish my sentence. You have to get to a point that you trust in yourself and trust in your gut and listen to that voice. And no matter what, like, even if you're feeling like I'm going against what everybody else is doing and this isn't going to work and whatever, it's okay. Just trust yourself, because that's what's going to take you the farthest.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that I've been telling people, that because I learned so much from that situation, is that, we have to stop looking to other people for the blueprint, because sometimes we are absolutely the blueprint.
Oh yeah.
May have never seen the blueprint before.
Right.
And so because of that, we've got to trust ourselves to do it the way it needs to be done for us and those around us, and how we affect those around us. And one thing that you said, April, that I absolutely love, is to trust us. The problem with that is we feel like a lot of times we've made erroneous decisions, and so therefore we don't trust ourselves. But
Right.
we've got to realize we've gotten here this far. So somewhere along the way, we've made some good decisions.
Right. Oh yeah. And
And so
if
we've
we
got to trust us. Yeah,
Right. Oh, absolutely. And if we make a decision and it doesn't work, we totally learned something. That doesn't mean we failed. It just means we went, oh, that doesn't work. Okay, let's try something else.
absolutely. I love this. I love everything that you're bringing to the forefront. April, tell us the name of your business. Tell us how we can get in touch with you and what it looks like when we already know. Listen, we already know just from this conversation that when we get in touch with you, it's not just, hey, what do you want? This is how much it costs. We already know that
Right.
that's not the case.
Yeah,
We
no.
already know that this is going to be an amazing conversation that's going to be, it's going to be our thoughts and ideas brought into real life. And that's really what I feel like it turns out to be. But tell us the name of your company, your business, how we can get in touch with you, and really what it looks like to begin that process with you.
You
I think
bet.
I found the hair. I found the hair.
Awesome. Gotta love that.
Look, this is real life. This is real life. I found the hair that has been tormenting me.
Isn't it funny how sometimes it's those little tiny things that totally like bother us and get under our skin? And if we'll just get rid of that little thing, we're done. We can move forward. We're
You know
like,
what?
awesome.
That's a mouthful. I love it. I love it. That is a mouthful. Because this entire time, that one little piece of hair was on my neck, my shoulder, and it was bothering me. But I just needed to get rid of it and not be ashamed and say, "Hey, listen, I've got a
Right.
little piece of hair." But that's, you know what? That's April. You are amazing. I love you. I love you.
Awesome. Well, I love you. So, okay. Well, let me tell all your listeners. So honestly, the best place is my website. It's April Hiatt, and it's Hiatt on Hiatt. But just a little website tip for any of you that have names that people spell wrong. When you're getting a domain for your website, buy your right one, like aprilhiatt.com, but then also buy the wrong one. So if you were to type in April Hiatt with Hiatt spelled like the Y, like the hotel, that's not me. But if you were to spell it that way, you would still get to me because it points to the right domain. So you can buy the wrong one if people spell your name wrong and forward it to the right one. But yeah,
Great
so I'm at
tip.
aprilhiatt.com.
Great tip. I love that. Had not thought about that. Great tip.
Yeah. 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 I learned that the hard way, where people are like, I can't find you. And I'm like, oh, you're spelling my name wrong. So I finally just went, I'm just going to buy the spelled name wrong, point it to myself, and boom, now I'm good.
Wow. I love it. I love it. So when folks get to you, when they land on your page, on your website, is there a some type of form that they fill out, an evaluation? What happens at that point?
So yeah, good question. So when you get to my website, you're going to learn basically about me and about my services. You'll see, that I offer website services. And like you said, Green, they're not just here, I'll build a website for you and you just hand me stuff. Like we talk, it's funny because one thing that I learned in my business that I didn't anticipate when I started it is how many friends I would make that were clients because I got to know them so well. We talk once or twice a week. We refer each other to just stuff that's going on. And, if I see something that I know they would be good at, I'll send them a referral. I'll just say, hey, you should, try this or whatever. And I've just been amazed at the friendships that I've made in working with people. So anyway, so you'll learn about the services that I offer. And then if you want to read my story, go to my about page. You'll learn about how I got into website design just as a mom trying to find help for my kids. You'll learn fun things about me, just, like what my favorite foods are and that I like to go hiking and I like to fish and I can hook a worm and all those really fun things about me, just in case you really want to know that it's there. And then just for your listeners, I do have, can I give them something for free? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. Awesome.
Yes.
So I have a really fun thing on my website. It's called a complete brand essentials kit. And what it is, what I found is that a lot of times people get stuck in the beginning of just getting their business starting because let me just put this out there. Your brand is you. It's who you are. It's how you make people feel. It's the customer service you give them. It's the services you offer. It's you. But you do have to come up with branding assets like colors and fonts and a logo and all of those things that kind of reflect a personality and who you are. But I found that a lot of business owners get stuck in trying to just come up with those, basic essentials, and then they can't move forward. So the kits have kind of put the essentials together for you. So you go through adjectives like I'm looking for something serene and quiet and healthy, or I'm looking for, out there and outgoing and strong and powerful. So depending on, what vibe you're going for, there's a kit there. And if you use the coupon code Go Be Great, then you can get it for free. They're normally $27 for the brand kits, but if your listeners use the coupon code Go Be Great, they can get the whole thing free. And it's got everything put together. You pick your personality, everything's there, and then you can move forward in your business. If you want to change the stuff later, go ahead. But this way you don't get stuck in the beginning. You're able to just keep going and move forward, trust in yourself and just go. So
I love it. I love it. And listen, you all use that code, Go Be Great, because listen, when you're getting products and services from someone who has a heart to serve, it makes it completely different. It puts you on a whole different level. So I admonish you to take advantage of this. Take advantage of this. April, do you have any last words of wisdom? Because you have come in and blazed it already. But I am like, I tell you, the folks that come on this show, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But coming on and pouring out your heart and the heart of service is so important to me. And so when people like you come on the show, it does my heart good. It does. It does. And I just want to say thank you for all that you're doing. Listen, we just met, never met you before. And I tell people all the time, I don't do pre-show interviews because I love the authenticity of the conversations. And this did not disappoint. You did not disappoint. So any last words of wisdom?
my last words of wisdom, I'm going to combine something that you always say with something of my own. So in listening to your podcast and watching your YouTube show, I noticed your theme is write it down and then go take action. Like write it down is awesome. That's perfect. Get it out of your brain, write it down, but then go do something about it. Go take action, like, move forward. So my advice is as you're moving forward is, what we talked about a little bit earlier, just trust in yourself, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to get your own inspiration and you're going to write it down in your journal. And then you're going to think, I'm going to go take action. I'm going to do it. And then it's going to get a little hard. And then you're going to have little voices in your head that are going, I don't know, maybe this isn't the right idea. Well, I don't know. I was really good at the time, but now, and then you start second guessing yourself. And then you just go down a rabbit hole. So just tell your brain to be quiet. I would say shut up, but in my house, that's a bad word. So we don't say that.
It is in mine too. So I love that.
So I'm just telling you, you know what? Be quiet. And I am awesome. Tell yourself you're awesome. I do this every day. I am awesome and I'm going to do this. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to do something else, but I am taking action and I am moving forward. And then if you get stuck again, here's my other little piece of advice, because I do this every day, is probably about 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, when, you kind of start to lag a little bit, I go stand out on my front porch, because the sun is right in front, and I close my eyes and I literally just look up at the sun with my eyes closed, and I just feel like I just let it seep in, and I just tell myself, I'm awesome. I'm going to keep going. I can do this. And then like 2 minutes, and then I just go back in the house and I keep doing my thing. So that's my advice. Let the sun seep into you, take action, and tell those little voices in your head to be quiet. Just keep going.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Folks, this has been another amazing episode of Go Be Great. We've had April Hiatt on the show today. Listen, go grab that kit that she's talking about. Use the code Go Be Great. Get it at no cost. Listen, don't sleep on this. Do not allow this to pass you by. Don't do it. Just don't even do it. April, thank you so very much again for being on the show today. Folks, we will see you all on the flip side.